Yep, it never fails to astonish me. Let's talk about DPFs for a little while and all the DPF problems, and maybe if you should or should not buy a diesel with a DPF. Hey everybody, Anthony from Australia, the Prado Hilux 1KD FTV specialist. Bada bing, bada boom, all right? Now, we haven't really talked a lot about DPFs. We've done a couple of videos where we had a yak about it. A lot of people aren't gonna like it, because I think one of them was called something along the lines of getting rid of DPFs, and don't get rid of your DPF. That's not a good idea. When you do that, you're basically contributing to killing us all. We want to reduce all this diesel emissions, which means keep them running clean in peak condition. And if you chose to buy a diesel with a DPF, you're going to have to wear the expense of that. And if you thought 1KDs were a problem with injector replacement, you've got some more astonishment coming your way. Now, I want to be clear from the start. This is not just a Toyota thing. Lots of diesels have got DPFs. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure in Australia, new diesels had to have them from around 2015. I believe Toyota put it off as long as they possibly could, but a lot of other makes and models like, Nissan, Mazda, Subaru, and plenty more I could go on, had DPFs well before then. And lots of DPF problems. There was no class action. So maybe you've brought a diesel with a DPF and you didn't know about all the problems that you might have and what they're prone to. Maybe you even brought your way into a Toyota investment with a DPF, even though you knew there was a class action on DPFs. Why is there a class action on Toyota and no one else? Well, Toyota's the best, most reliable brand. So when they've got a problem, everybody wants to put the boot in while they're down. So I believe that's what it's all about. Nothing really in particular wrong with the DPF itself, I believe. There's always a cause. There's always a reason why there's problems, okay? So like I've said, it could have been software related, not quite right. The way people use the vehicles, not getting a good burn, because after all, it is a filter. It does accumulate, does fill up, and it needs to be cleaned. It's a self-cleaning system. If it doesn't work right, you're going to have DPF problems. Now, let me just relate this to another issue that was coming up probably 30, 40 years ago, Okay, so when vehicles got oxygen sensors, right? There was a lot of oxygen sensor DTC codes coming up. Oh, oxygen sensor rich, this, that, and the other. So what a lot of people at the start did, they're replacing sensors. And sometimes on some makes and models, there's a problem with the sensors and you need to replace them. But a lot of people were replacing sensors. This doesn't solve the problem. The sensor's just telling the computer it's running rich or lean or whatever it's doing. It's just a sensor, exactly that. So when you get a code for that sensor, replacing it doesn't really solve the problem. There's the actual problem there where something else it needed to be repaired or replaced, and the sensor's just doing its job. Maybe it got contaminated from the problem and it needed replacement also. And it's exactly the same with the DPF, to be quite honest. Let's rewind a little bit. So as I said, people with 1KDs, because we specialize in 1KDs, I believe they're one of the best engines. They're simple, they're cheap to run on maintenance, they're cheap to run. If you want a four-wheel drive for touring Australian Outback, they're one of the best, most reliable, cheap to run options where you can DIY service yourself. Watching all my videos, subscribe, turn the bell on, don't miss them. Watch that video every day to the end and go and watch one of the old ones, maybe two, just see what you feel like on the day. So this is not a pick on the 1GD video that's in front of us at the moment. And if you think I've been picking on them, well, I own one that's going to be up for sale in the next year. It's the best one you'll be able to get your hands on, but I'm not going to be too hard on them. Wait until you see what happens when the truth comes out after this one's gone. Then you'll really be astonished, as I am with what people do and buy. So the problems you've got with these diesels now, the way I see it, not all of it, but a lot of it's related around emission controls and emission control systems like, whether it's catalytic converters, DPFs, EGR systems, and all this sort of thing that's in place to help your health and help you live longer, because those diesel fumes, just like petrol, whether it's bad for the environment or us, cancer, heart attack, stroke, they want to reduce it, and that's fair enough. So if you've chosen a diesel engine with a DPF, it is completely illegal and very stupid of you to fully remove it. That's what I believe. When you go to sell the vehicle and you need a roadworthy, good luck with that one as well, and good luck with the prospective buyer. And then when they find out if it's got no DPF, and the legal action that could be coming your way. It's going to be very expensive to remove it, so another waste of money. Just like cleaning DPFs is expensive, replacing them is expensive, and the labour to do it, right? The whole thing's expensive, right? So I hope you don't have any problems with it, but usually there's a cause. Now, just focusing on the 1GD situation with the class action. Now, it's my understanding that quite often when there is DPF problems, you've got a 10-year warranty, so that's great, isn't it? So what's going to happen at the end of 10 years? Do you reckon nobody's going to know about that by then when you want to sell it? And they're not going to be taking into account the expense of cleaning or replacing the DPF. Thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Anyway, and then you've got the fact that someone's worked on your vehicle, and did they get it right? Have you seen all the problems that people cause working on vehicles? You don't want a vehicle that someone's worked on or had to work on. So this is your next problem. You go on the next trip and what comes loose and falls off, right? We just had another vehicle. There's been videos on, just subscribe, turn the bell on so you don't miss it. Get the picture. Now, so with the DPF, what I'm getting at is, on these 1GDs, for example, when they do whatever they do to fix the DPF, replace, quite often there's a massive expense covered under warranty, replacing the DPF and the injectors. Why do you think that would be? Why would they be replacing the DPF and the injectors, including the 5th injector, right? I'll tell you why, because like I said, there's always a cause to the problem. It may or may not be injector problems, right? So I'm not going to go too much into detail. I don't work in a dealership and I'm really not up to date with that. So I'm not going to say things that could be wrong, but I hear from a lot of people about getting, they replaced the DPF, they replaced all the injectors, including that injector, blah, 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 this sort of talk. And people still have problems later after that as well. So don't think because you've got a later model or it's all been done, or you've got that button there, you're in a safe area, okay? Just be aware of it. It's just kind of probably going to be a bit of luck, I guess. I've said it before in other videos, the top selling injectors are 1GDs and 1VDs, right? There's a massive shortage of 1VD, V8 injectors, DPF, again, causing problems with DPFs, injectors, blah, blah, blah. It's just massive. We don't work on those. I'm busy enough. I'm looking for less work, not more. So if you've got a 1KD and you love it and you're nearby and you like how I roll, maybe we can get you in for something, but hopefully you can watch the videos and just do it yourself. I mean, isn't this a dumb idea? Doesn't that astonish you, what I do? Anyway, my point is, it's going to be a massive expense when it happens, if it's outside warranty, whether it's a DPF cleaning, a DPF replacement, injector replacement. Some people say, oh, at least I don't have injector problems if they're 1KD. Mate, it's not injector problems. All injectors wear out. These injectors are going to wear out as well. The older they get, the more worn they are. It's not going to be running as clean as when it was new. And of course, it's due for injector replacement. And if I was going to keep one of these vehicles, if they said, and beware what's happening, people, use the folding as much as possible, go to the bloody bank, take it out and put it in and make use of these people and jump up and down when they go, we don't have any of that stuff here, because that's what's happening. And the same thing will happen with your car. You think you're keeping your 1KD forever? Well, they'll change some rules, mate, that you got to get rid of it, or it'll cost you a lot of money to keep it. And then you'll have to get into vehicles like this. And I hope you got a lot of money to buy and sell new cars regularly, whatever. I mean, it's going to get messed up. So that's what I think anyway. I could be wrong. I haven't got a crystal ball, but that's how I feel things are rapidly heading towards. So at the end of the day, personally, I would avoid DPF diesel engines. So that includes the new Prado. It's got a DPF. It's got all sorts of things, right? That in the longer term, good luck with that. And technology problems, right? So look, each their own. You do what you want to do. You like it, you don't like it. The 1GD, this engine, you like it, you don't like it. You make your choice, right? But the main thing I wanted you to understand is it's not just the cost of cleaning or replacement, the DPF, it's also the injectors. Yes, they are maintenance items just like the other engine, but we're not going to see those seats leaking as soon. They're the thicker type. They're not in oil. They're not going to cause a blocked oil pickup on this engine, okay? So just beware, there's different systems. You've got to get to know your particular engine. I can only show the stuff of vehicles, what we work on, that we choose to work on, because like I said, I've got 3 of them. I just think they're the best. They're simple, they're easy to maintain, they're very reliable. If anything's going to go wrong, we know exactly what it is, what to do as prevention, and we've got all the solutions in place if worst case scenario, the 1 in a million, whatever the case may be. So beware. Injectors expensive. V8s, you've got twice as many injectors, pipes and everything on the maintenance. So not only does it use more fuel and it costs you a lot more to buy, it costs a lot more to run. Own, buy, maintain, insure, injectors, pipes, DPFs and all that. Just double everything, okay? You're not getting away from it by getting into a 200 series or a 300 series. It's got more of this stuff and more expense. The 1KD is kind of like the last of the best. It's really simple. It's a simple baby there. It's just a 4-cylinder. But what's good about it, it's up to date with those common rail direct injection injectors. So it's a big upgrade on the 1KZ, but then it's been sort of held back. We've got our solutions in place for any issues, 7 millimeters or 0, whatever you want, right? And it's just clean and it's beautiful, and change the oil and keep driving, do the injector maintenance like you need to on every other diesel. You won't have any DPF problems, any other issues whatsoever. Careful who you let work on your car, subject to that. Anyway, just wanted to yak about DPFs. Maybe it helped you, maybe it didn't, but there's always a reason why. It's like a filter. It's like if your air filter gets filled up and blocked up, there's a reason why. You just sat 10 meters behind the car in front of you on a dusty dirt road all day. Hello, there's a reason why. You've got to stop doing that. Then you've got to clean the filter, right? So with the DPF, you've got to clean it or replace it depending how bad it is and all that sort of thing. If you've got a 10-year warranty, but like I said, when does the 10-year warranty end? Pretty sure that'll be at 10 years. They're not going to be doing this at 12 and 15 and 20, or maybe they are, but you know, all the best with that and your decisions on your DPFs. Thanks for watching. See ya.